This is about Aaron Civale today. Things I liked about Civale. He wasn't afraid. I mean, he fell behind a few guys today, and he was not afraid to get back into the zone. I know he had 3 walks, but there were walks to guys that you wouldn't expect. I mean, Vargas and Lux didn't love that, especially the walk to Lux when he was ahead 0-2. Walking Smith after giving up 2 homers to him is completely understood. But he struck out Ohtani 3 times. He struck out Freeman twice. He struck out Teoscar Hernandez once. Had him 0 for 3. I mean, really, the only one who did anything strong was Will Smith, going 2 for 2 with a walk against him today. I give this a B- all day, and there's a lot of stuff I saw that I think is very workable that the Brewers can get very excited about with Aaron Civale. Number 1 is that cutter. Letting him use it, letting him throw it, let it eat, as they say. It hadn't been the same with the Rays since he got traded over there. Tonight, he threw the cutter 34% of the time, which is just about his season rate. The sweeper, his version of a slider, was really good. It might look like a slider or a curveball to you. The curveball is a lot more vertical, whereas the sweeper is a little more horizontal. And I thought the sweeper was a very impressive pitch. He got 6 whiffs on that pitch tonight. That's something I'm excited to see him grow into, see how he can use it better, what works for him in that regard. The other thing about Civale today, I thought there were some serious stones from him in that 4th inning after giving up the 2-run homer. After the Brewers had given him the lead, so it's 5-4, gives up a 2-run homer, walks the next batter Lux after getting ahead of him 0-2. You know you got Shohei lurking. He strikes out Chris Taylor on a painted cutter, and he strikes out Ohtani for the 3rd time of the night. That showed me a lot from Civale. Then a leadoff walk in the 5th, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're really going to make this more stressful on you? He gets the next 3 guys, Freeman, Hernandez, and Pages, all to end the inning. It's in there. I think the Brewers have time to figure this out for him. The reason the Brewers made this move now is to have time to work with him. If they waited till July 30th, the day of the trade deadline, you could think in theory you're only going to get 8 starts with him. You just bought yourself probably 4 or 5 more starts with Aaron Civale as you hope to get to the postseason to use him to your advantage and understand what makes him tick. I love the story over with our friends on Valley Sports Wisconsin that Sophia Minute told, saying he provided his own little printout of like, hey, I know you guys don't know me super well. I know I have to throw against the Dodgers today. Here's just kind of like a cheat sheet about me. I made this for you. I can't wait to talk to him about this next week. What was on it? What did you learn? Like, what did you need to hear about on that sort of a cheat sheet, and how much did it help William Contreras tonight? I thought Aaron Civale was solid. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. But also, let's be real here. He's not here to be the ace. He's here to help. He's here to deliver innings. The pitch count got away from him early, 23 in the first, 21 in the second, 25 in the fourth. Otherwise, he was solid. You could see a good foundation here. Can't wait to see what he can become heading into his next start. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Talk a little bit about that framing and the offense. We haven't even mentioned the Grand Slam yet. It's a loss, 8-5 to the Dodgers. There was a highlight from this one. Another Grand Slam for the Brew Crew. Talk a little bit about that next on WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
An unsuspecting driver at a gas station in Wisconsin.
Welcome, Pump 15. How you doing?
Great.
Were you wearing your seatbelt today?
I never wear my seatbelt.
We're going to get him. We're going to get him real good.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Donald Driver. It takes 1 second to strap a seatbelt on. Well, let's do this. Let's do it together. Now, don't that feel better?
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways.
And I should have recognized your voice when you're harassing.
I'm watching you.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to SemperfiRoofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
8-5, the loss tonight to the Dodgers, game one of a three-game series. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. There was highlights from this, and I know we've kind of doom and gloom these first two segments, but how about that fourth inning for the Brewers tonight? At that point, they're trailing 2-0 after the two solo homers from Will Smith. An infield hit from Bryce Terang started things off, almost a miracle play from Miguel Rojas. Then a walk to William Contreras. Okay, you got Yelly, but he struck out against Tyler Glasnow. Now you got Willy Adames. Willie's been scuffling, and something that popped that been waiting to see from him for about 2 weeks. He hit a single to the opposite field. He hasn't had a hit to the opposite field in 2 weeks, June 21st, in San Diego. It has been that long since he had an opposite field hit. So he pokes a single through the right side. That gets the Brewers on the board. It's 2-1. Garrett Mitchell draws a walk. That loads the bases. Slam watch! Rhys Hoskins delivers. He had been 0-for in the Colorado series. He had grounded out earlier in this game. And finally gets one, cashes one in. Grand slam, 7th of the year for the Brewers. 6th in their last 13 games. The pattern is starting to form here now for the Crew as well. Remember, Terang started this pattern in San Diego. It went Terang, Hoskins, Bowers, Churio, Terang, now back to Hoskins. So that means if you need to go to Potawatomi, this is not betting advice, but maybe Bowers at some point here. But Rhys hits the grand slam, and then Tyler Glasnow shut the door from there. And I should correct myself. I said there were only one base runner the rest of the game. There were two the rest of the game after that. There was an error that should be a base hit for Garrett Mitchell, and then another infield hit from Jackson Churio. That's it. That's where the trouble was for the Brewers. Especially, I know Savali did not get the shutdown inning there in the bottom of the fourth. One of the ways that you could have picked him up or found a way, now, easier said than done against Tyler Glasnow, is create some offense. They were working deep counts against him. They had him on the ropes there multiple times in the fourth inning, but then Frelick struck out. He had a tough night. Churio struck out. He had the infield hit to extend his hitting streak, but then he got picked off by Blake Trinan. So the offense still stuck in this weird rut aside from the one big inning. Grand slams are cool. You talk to a lot of people that have been around the game for a while. When you talk about rallies and sustained offense, home runs are rally killers. And I'm not saying this like I'm complaining about them hitting a home run. They have the fewest home runs in baseball since the start of June. Hit home runs, please. Absolutely, hit home runs. But at the same time, it's like, okay, now you got to restart completely from scratch. And the Brewers could not find a way to do that. And mind you, the Dodgers bullpen is really good. Tyler Glasnow, really good. And now you're facing a lefty tomorrow in James Paxton. So you're going to have to make the decision to flip the switch and get back on track. It's not going to get easier against the Dodgers, plain and simple. You look at the rest of the lines today. Terang got robbed on a great running catch down the line in the 8th inning. Yelly went 0-for-4. I thought he smashed one into the 6th, but it died just shy of the warning track. Garrett Mitchell reached on an error. He also had a walk. He was 4.08 up the line on that error. I think it's a hit in my opinion, but I digress. He worked a couple of counts today. We already talked about the Rhys Grand Slam. But 7, 8, 9, they were a combined 0 for tonight. Just the infield hit from Jackson Churio. Sal 0 for 3, Churio 1 for 3, Monasterio 0 for 3. 1 for 9 total from that bottom third. And we've seen rallies form from there when the Brewers really get things going. But it was not meant to be this evening. If you're up late, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. This one from the 608. Guess I'll have to be a Cub fan against the Cardinals next week. This team's making me a little nervous. The Cardinals did win tonight, by the way, so the lead is down to 5. It is still not yet the All-Star break. There is still a lot of baseball to play in this one. In this one from the 414 here, offense was the reason for the loss tonight, and the late inning walks are hurting us too. Agreed with both of those statements, to say the least. The Brewers didn't have another runner in scoring position aside from that fourth inning as well. That's it. Need more sustained offense. But 5 runs against the Dodgers, if you would have told me that against Tyler Glass, I'd be like, wow, that's awesome. Hopefully they can keep the Dodger offense down, which obviously wasn't the case tonight. Let's talk a little bit about William, umpiring, framing, how all of that works. A lot of people are mad about that 8th inning call. I'm here to kind of break it down. I'm not trying to pick a side here. I'm not trying to complain. I'm just going to lay the facts out and tell you why that was called a ball. That's coming up next here on Brewers Extra Innings.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
Make the most of summer when the Brewers take on the Nationals July 12th through the 14th, featuring a Brewers Image Viewer giveaway and Service Ceros Day festivities. Get on board at brewers.com/tickets.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but despite what a certain national online company tells you, a car's not one of them.
Let's see. Cheese Doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. Green 4-door hatchback. Honey, we're gonna need some more quarters.
Sure, they make it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online. And unlike those national companies, you get to see the vehicle in person and test drive it before you buy it. You also have the assurance that the vehicle's been thoroughly tested, and if any issue does come up, your local Adam member dealer is right here to service it, and can also provide low financing and top dollar for your trade. Think about that before you take a chance with their so-called vending machine.
What? It's stuck! No! Oh, rats!
Start your search at adamm.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Tom Catronio. A lot of good replies on the Aaron Savali tweet, so maybe I should do that a little more often. I've got you for post-game shows all weekend long. Tomorrow, a little more normal time, 6:15 start time Central. And then we'll have a 3:10 first pitch on Sunday. Also want to remind you that Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you in part by Cider, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Right now, in Wisconsin, you're finding, I'm pulling up the ad read here. Sorry, it's the wrong, that's the old ad read. I got to find the right one here. We're rolling through it. It's late night. Hang with me here, guys. But let's talk a little bit about William Contreras. William had that frame, had the moment where it's like, gosh, well, that was a strike. The television said, like, look at it. It should have been a strike. The box, right? Like, well, okay, look. Here's the thing about that box. It's pretty accurate. It's pretty close. There's not what the umpire sees, okay? You'll notice if you go back and watch the pitch that everyone, Freddie Freeman, he knows the strike zone so well. Most of these hitters do. And I know the zone had been a little wide all night, and you would expect to get that call. But I remind you, umpires are trained to situate themselves in the slot, which is the gap between the hitter and the catcher. So if it's a left-handed hitter like Freddie Freeman is, you are situated to the inside of the plate for that lefty. Now, you may be thinking, well, doesn't that expose the outer corner? Yes, and that's what makes it difficult to call and makes it even harder to frame. When you look into the framing numbers for William Contreras, I know you can easily look at the overall number. Oh, it's blue, it's negative. He must be a terrible framer this year. Yes and no. The Brewers' focus with William is the bottom of the zone. That's where they want him to steal strikes. They don't mind the top of the zone. They would like the edges, of course, but the bottom of the zone is their focus with William Contreras. And you can go zone by zone by zone, what's called attack zones. They're all numbered based on the shadow of the strike zone. That's the only place you can get, framing to you. You don't get penalized if a pitch right down the middle gets called a ball because the umpire blinked or something. Furthermore, you don't get a boost like if you get the strike call that Evan Phillips got to Garrett Mitchell there in the ninth inning, which was terrible. That was like 4 balls off the plate, but that's not what this is about. You can look at it zone by zone. And when you look at the bottom of the zone, the shadow of the strike zone, the league average called strike rate for that shadow is literally a coin flip, 50%. William Contreras this season has a 54% called strike rate there at the bottom of the zone, meaning he's above average at what the Brewers are asking him to do. When you look at that glove side for the catcher, away to a lefty, zone 14 is what it's called on Baseball Savant. William is at 58.5. League average is 58.3. Virtually league average. If William Contreras can be a league average framing catcher, which is hard to do with an inexperienced pitching staff, which he is learning is really hard to do when you don't have Corbin Burns and Freddie Peralta and Devin Williams throwing to you, it's harder to get reputation strike calls. There's a lot of subjectivity in this. The other thing that I don't like about framing numbers is, like I tell you about the slot, none of that's accounted for here. It's assuming the umpire is in the same spot every time, and it's the same pitch every time. You can get really deep in the layers, then it gets to a point like, well, why are we measuring this? I know folks want the ABS challenge system to arrive. It's coming. I don't think it's coming next year. I think it's going to be something in the next CBA because they also need to include the umpires union on this. Then there's the other argument where, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, you have the computerized strike zone, but an umpire is actually calling balls and strikes during the game. But with the situation that presented itself tonight in the 8th inning, William Contreras or Hobie Milner could tap the top of their head instantly. No waiting on the dugout to tell you to do it or not. It has to be the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter that calls it for a challenge. Think of Wimbledon. Think of calling for the Cyclops system, calling for replay. It happens quick like that. If you've seen any AAA clips of it, it's pretty effective. But on one school of thought, it's like, cool, you get the umpire still calling the game. You get the big ones right when you need it if the umpire or if the batter or the catcher feels like they missed one, and you have that opportunity. The other hand is like, well, wait a minute. The computer is telling you the strike zone all night. Why not just use the computer all night? And that's the conundrum baseball is facing itself with. I want to remind you, framing is stealing strikes. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Dom, the TV box said that was a strike. It's in the shadow of the zone. It could go either way. It's trying to convince the umpire that this is definitely a strike. That's what framing's about. You are stealing pitches that are in doubt. It's not about making good pitches look better. It's about making bad pitches look good. And that wasn't a bad pitch from Hobie. It was a bit of bad luck. I'm not blaming the whole game on that like I've talked about with the offense. But that's just a little bit of a peek inside of how these framing numbers are rated, how hard it is to do. And again, the focus for William Contreras and the Brewers believe, I've talked to Walker McKinven about this, bottom of the zone is where the value is to try to steal strikes for William Contreras this year. And again, his body was off the plate. He did a lot of things mechanically wrong on that play to be begging for a call. That wasn't on the umpire. There were some things that William could have done differently there, in my opinion. That's baseball, Susan. You've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. Up next, let's hear from the manager, Pat Murphy. Brewers fall in this one by a final of 8-5, but I did find that read that I said I was going to find for cider heating, plumbing, and electrical. Right now, for a limited time, they're offering $10 off an AC tune-up or $10 off an HVAC, plumbing, or electrical service call. At Cider, your home comfort is top priority. Visit cider.com today. That's SEIDER.com. All right, we'll hear from the manager up next, Pat Murphy, on WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
Change the way you do business and take more control of the payment process with Fifth Third Bank's Treasury Management Solutions. Their market expertise and managed services streamline the entire payment process and integrate with your existing systems, giving you more control than ever. With their suite of payment solutions, you will soon recognize new revenue sources that can save time, offset operating costs, and improve the bottom line, all customized for your business. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design rooms.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Do you remember that electric moment when you suddenly realized that she was the one?
The one you were going to love forever.
The one you'd been waiting your whole life to meet.
She is the one.
The one.
Now it's time to find the one engagement ring that sparkles like she does.
Come to Kessler's Diamonds. We have a collection of incredibly special diamond engagement rings called the One Collection.
You need one special engagement ring for the one woman you will ever love.
Kessler's Diamonds is the one jewelry store where you can find the One Collection.
And Kessler's is the one store that offers the world-famous, no excuses, no fine print, lifetime warranty on every diamond engagement ring we sell.
We have the freedom to do this for you because Kessler's Diamonds is the one diamond store owned by its employees.
The One Collection starts at just $550.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at kesslersdiamonds.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Had the stat over on my Twitter. This was a cool one from Aaron Savali. He struck out Shohei Ohtani 3 times tonight. He's the 9th pitcher ever to do it. It's the 11th instance of it happening. The list is wild for pitchers who have done it to Shohei Ohtani. Justin Verlander did it to him twice. That makes sense. Justice Sheffield did it to him twice. Like Justice Sheffield, who was traded from the Yankees to the Mariners. That Justice Sheffield twice. Garrett Cole, that makes sense. Luis Garcia with the Astros, that makes sense. Dallas Keuchel? What? Tristan McKenzie, that makes sense. Robbie Ray? Okay. Bruce Zimmerman? This is all over the place. What a list. And now Aaron Savali is on that list. Pat Murphy has some thoughts about Savali and his offense and the bullpen as well. Brewers fall by an 8-5 final. Here's what he had to say to the media after.
Yeah, we pitched to Smith. I mean, we weren't trying to walk him, you know. Obviously, Peggy had trouble finding the zone, period. But you load the bases, you do, you know, with him not finding the zone. You know, that's our option right now with Koenig on the DL, and that's our option right there. It was Hudson or Koenig, it would be in that situation. So that's the way it is, you know. And credit to the Dodgers, credit to Freddie Freeman. He's done it in the clutch so many times. You know, a couple borderline pitches there that could have went the other way, and that's baseball. Great environment. That's what it's all about. Tonight's what it's all about. We got to respond. Young guys got to figure out, you know, how to be able to perform their best in these types of environments.
William really wanted that pitch on the outside edge against Freeman. Did he or anyone else who saw it say anything afterwards?
I mean, they felt like it was a strike, but I mean, that happens all the time, you know.
Remember that last Will Smith home run off of Hudson? It was a ball outside. Is that just, you know,
swinging it back great?
Yeah.
Kids swinging it back great, and they're stepping up while Betts is out. Yeah. That's you know, that kid he's been quietly one of the engines that run the ship over there that's been pretty successful. So, and he has maybe the most important job on the team. So, for him to do both jobs the way he does, we know what that's like because we know what William does for our team. So.
Murph, outside that Hoskins swing, 7 of the 9 innings, they faced the minimum. What did you think of the at-bats? The rest
We faced some really good pitching, like Glasnow's, I don't know, everything about it. Glasnow's a guy that obviously they wanted to sign, and they go after the very best players in the league. If you think about Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, Smith, and they go after the very best, and so they went after this guy to secure his future, and he pitched really good. He's really good, but I thought we did a good job putting ourselves in a position to do that. I thought Savali showed some guts, and yeah.
What did you think of Aaron tonight? The 8 strikeouts matched a season high for him.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. He really handled the left-handed hitters incredibly well, and I thought he battled. It's hard to give up. What did he give up? 4 home runs or 3 home runs? 3 home runs. It's hard to win like that. But he faced a kid that's scorching hot, obviously, tonight, and the kid was unconscious tonight. He was that good, and yeah, I thought he battled, and I think he's a perfect fit for our club.
Hoskins, what does your experience tell you about what this could be?
Yeah, I think that's what he's got to feel great about it. You know what I mean? To put that good swing on that pitch from a pitcher like Glasnow and give us a chance to win.
Figueroa's having a tough time getting righties out. That's a spot job he has to do. What do you make of just the difficulties he's having?
Yeah, it starts with your bread and butter, which is throwing strikes. It starts with throwing strikes. So he throws the ball 96, 97. You got to throw the ball in the zone. So he's got to throw strikes. Now, and conversely, Payamps looked very good tonight, but the last 5 out of 7, he hasn't been great. So, Peggy. It was a nice spot for him there with a lot of right-handers, but he's got to get those guys out. He's got to get that sinker back, and the slider's got to be consistent. One for a strike and one for one that appears a strike and becomes a ball. But he's got to do that.
With those 2 guys and Hudson too, is it that time of year for some of these relievers where that all-star break starts to become like?
I think every team goes through it. I mean, it's not just the break, it's the consistency, it's the mental toughness, all that kind of stuff comes into play. Hudson was really juiced up, and he faced a hitter that made him pay, but other than that, he got the job done.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts on the bullpen there. A text actually came in on that, and a couple of tweets on that as well. Hey, is this what to expect from the bullpen moving forward? Is this regression to the mean, or is this just them being overworked? With that last comment about Brian Hudson being amped, look, you got to remember all the baggage that this series came with for Brian. Former team, having to face the best hitter on the planet, and gave up a home run to Will Smith and trying to calm down the adrenaline. You could see it on his face. There was some flush there. And we've heard Pat Murphy talk about this all season long. Great stages present great opportunities for young teams to grow. Right, that first trip down to Wrigley, that series in Philly. What do you notice, too? They lost that first series at Wrigley. They got swept by the Phillies. They got beat by the Yankees at home. They lose the first game to the Dodgers. All of this is data. All of this is learning what it takes to be the best against the best. They are still a young team. They are far from perfect. But gathering data and understanding what that adrenaline is going to feel like in big moments is going to set you up for success when it's really pumping, hopefully in October. Couple of thoughts on some of the highlights coming up next. You'll hear from the guys in L.A. after this. Then we'll get ready to say goodnight. Brewers fall 8-5 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'm gonna put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? I'm gonna give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh my God.
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There we go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, and I want to talk about exactly what we do. When you come here, you're going to get 2 shots with 2 very small needles. One will be a medication called Toradol, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, completely different from a standard steroid or cortisone injection. This medication is safe and a great pain reliever. The other will be hyaluronic acid, which is a naturally occurring fluid found in all of our joints. What hyaluronic acid does is it helps recoat the inside surfaces to provide cushioning and lubrication. It helps slow down the osteoarthritis process to a point where patients may not need surgery. All of this combined with using our state-of-the-art Ultra G machine developed by NASA has produced profound results. What we do works. And the best part about this is that insurance covers most of our patients' treatments. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Tell you what, there were a couple of highlights tonight. They did lose 8-5 to the Dodgers as we get ready to say goodnight. All the RBIs came in the 4th. First, it was Willie Adames.
A 1 ground ball towards the right side and out of the reach of a diving Gavin Luxon into right field. Scoring from second, Terang. First to third, Contreras. Willie Adames pokes one the opposite way.
That's Josh Maurer on the call here on WTMJ. The Brewers got themselves on the board. At that point, they're trailing 2-1. They would load the bases after a walk to Garrett Mitchell. And with 1 out, Rhys Hoskins coming up. He has the most plate appearances on the team with the bases loaded. There have been a few double plays, but all of a sudden, remember, his home ballpark is Slam Fan Field.
2-1 Dodgers, the 0-1. High, deep drive, left center field, backing up Pages, back onto the track. Pages, wall, leaps up. Did he catch it or is it over the fence? There's been no signal. Now it comes. It's a grand slam for Rhys Hoskins.
That was a moment where it's like the fan caught it, ran back to his seat, grabbed a dummy ball, then threw that one back out onto the field. You, sir, are a coward. Throw the ball you caught back. Anyway, Rhys Hoskins hit a grand slam. That was a cool moment. Then the cool moments ended. The Brewers lose 8-5. Will Smith, a 3-homer game. The last time the Brewers allowed a 3-homer game from an opponent, that came Michael Perez, 2022. I'm not going to lie. I worked this game. I have zero recollection of it. Absolutely zero. June 30th, 2022. Previous to that, Jesse Winker in 21 and Paul Goldschmidt in 2019. All right, shake it off. Get ready to go tomorrow. Freddie Peralta has the ball He'll be going up against left-hander James Paxton. A little bit easier game time to deal with tomorrow. We're on the air at 5 o'clock. I've got you covered for Brewers warm-up, and then it'll be a 6:15 first pitch, and I've got you after the game as well. If you're one of the folks that likes to sync up your television, it is on Fox tomorrow. So no Bally, sync up WTMJ with Fox, and you will have a great time at the ballpark. Brewers and Dodgers game 2 tomorrow. Hope you tune in for that one and have some fun with us after the game as well. Thanks to our brand new producer, Nate Rilling. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Until next time, keep on swinging.
Make the most of summer when the Brewers take on the